Hello and welcome. We're coming to you today with a special report from the very frontiers of physics. We're talking about antimatter and how it connects to one of the most fundamental questions you can ask. Why does our universe even exist?
You know, for almost 100 years, ever since antimatter was first dreamed up back in 1928, scientists have wrestled with the question that sounds like it's straight out of science fiction. Does this weird stuff feel gravity the same way we do, or does it do the exact opposite? I mean, seriously, does it fall up?
Well, today we have breaking news. We finally have an answer. And a landmark result from the ALPHA experiment at CERN, scientists have, for the very first time, watched antimatter respond to gravity. And the verdict is in. It falls down.
So let's dive into what this really means. First up, antimatter falls down. This is a huge moment, finally putting to bed a question that's been hanging over physics for nearly a century.
And this quote from the research team really puts it in perspective. People have been speculating about this since the 1920s, but it's only now, today, that our technology is finally good enough to actually test the theory. It's just a monumental achievement for experimental physics.
But here's the thing. As historic as this discovery is, it's really just one piece of a much, much bigger puzzle. And that brings us to the real heart of the matter, the universe's greatest mystery, which is simply, why are we here? Why does anything exist at all?
So, to get a handle on that mystery, we need to know, what exactly is antimatter? Well, the easiest way to think of it is as matter's mirror image. For every particle that makes up you and me and everything we see, there's an antiparticle twin. It has the exact same mass, but the opposite charge. And here's the kicker. If a particle and its antiparticle ever meet, they annihilate. They disappear in a pure flash of energy.
And this chart makes it super clear. You take a proton, right? A basic building block of an atom. It's got a positive charge. Its mirror image, the antiproton, has the exact same mass, but a negative charge. It's a perfect, beautiful symmetry.
And that perfect symmetry, that's the whole problem. Because our best theory, the Big Bang, says that equal amounts of matter and antimatter should have been created at the dawn of time. If that happened, they should have all found each other, annihilated, and left behind a universe filled with nothing but light. So the question is, why are we still here? Why is our universe made almost entirely of matter?
Right now, the best clue physicists have is a tiny little crack in that perfect mirror. It's a phenomenon called CP violation. It's a subtle but very real imbalance in the laws of physics that makes matter and antimatter behave just a little bit differently from each other. And that tiny difference could be the only reason we exist.
So to hunt for more clues about this cosmic imbalance, you have to go somewhere pretty special. So for our next segment, we're taking you on location inside the Antimatter Factory, the only facility of its kind on planet Earth at CERN. At the very core of CERN's antimatter program, there's a machine that does the opposite of what its name suggests. See, most particle accelerators are built to go fast, but the antiproton decelerator, its entire job is to slam on the brakes. And here's the whole journey in a nutshell. First, they have to create the stuff. They smash protons into a target, which creates a whole spray of other particles, including a few very rare antiprotons. Then they have to slow them down with the decelerator. Then they slow them down even more with a new machine called ELINA. And only then, once they're moving at a crawl, can they be trapped and actually studied by the experiments. And these are the detectives on the case. You've got the alpha team, who just answered the gravity question. Then there's base, which is making these mind-bogglingly precise measurements to see if that mirror image is truly perfect. And you have GBAR and Aegis, who are both working on new, even more clever ways to measure antimatter and gravity.
Now, I know this can all feel pretty abstract. Cosmic mysteries, particle accelerators, but this is where it all connects back to us. Because this research, it isn't just theory. It's saving lives today.
Just look at this journey. In 1933, the very first antimatter particle, the positron, was discovered completely by accident in cosmic rays. It was a discovery of pure curiosity. Flash forward to today, and that exact same particle is the key to one of our most powerful medical tools, the PET scan. It's incredible when you think about it. A PET scan works by detecting those tiny annihilation flashes of energy happening inside your body. And from that, doctors can create these amazing 3D images that don't just show your bones, but show how your organs are actually functioning. So that's what antimatter is doing for us right now. But what's next? Well, what if it could be a powerful new weapon in the fight against cancer? The early results are really promising.
And the number to remember is this one, 4, as in 4 times.
4 times what, you ask? Well, an experiment at CERN called ACE discovered that antiprotons were 4 times more effective at zapping targeted cancer cells than the protons used in today's therapies. This could open up a whole new frontier for treatment, one that's much tougher on tumors and gentler on the healthy tissue around them.
So where does that leave us? Let's turn to our final segment, the next frontier. Because even though we've answered one of the oldest questions in physics, the biggest mysteries are definitely still out there.
And the hunt is absolutely on. Scientists are pushing for more precision, comparing magnetic properties, using lasers to cool antimatter down to near absolute zero for better measurements. They're even looking to see if antimatter interacts with dark matter. And get this, they're developing portable antimatter traps so this research can spread to labs around the globe.
And at the end of the day, it all comes back to the big why. As physicist Pilar Hernandez says, the real prize here is that all of this work may hold the key to why the universe is made of matter and not antimatter.
And that leaves us with one last, profound thought to ponder. What if everything we see, every star, every planet, you, me, what if all of it is just what was left over after a perfect symmetry was shattered in the first moments of time? The search for that answer continues. This has been a special report.